Walang sigurado sa buhay. Pero siguradong babangon ako araw-araw na laging handa. Kaya kape ko, Nescafe Original. Mas pinatapang, mas masarap, mas pinakape ang aroma at lasa. Dahil sa pagsisikap, nakabangon ako at napagawa ang pangarap naming bahay. Ikaw, para kanino ka bumabangon?
Bangon na sa pinipili ng marami, Nescafe Original.
Hi friends, and welcome again to my YouTube channel. It's been a while and I am excited to share this video on the expectancy theory. So before I'll start, I have shared to you a famous advertisement here in the Philippines, which we call the brand as Nescafe, with the tagline, "Para kanino ka bumabangon?" We will see what expectation theory has to say on the ad as we further our discussion. So in this video, we'll explore the three components of the expectancy theory of motivation and how you can use them to increase your motivation and achieve your goals. So, if you're ready to unlock your full potential and take your performance to the next level, just keep watching. The first thing that we are going to talk about is the proponent of the expectancy theory.
The expectancy theory was proposed by Victor Vroom of Yale School of Management in 1964. See this guy right here? Yes, he is the Victor Harold Vroom. And just like any other theory, the theory was developed after years of research and analysis on various motivational theories.
Now that we know who the proponent of the expectancy theory is, let us now discuss what his theory is all about.
Expectancy theory is the intensity to perform in a particular manner equates to the intensity of expectation. This means that the motivation is dependent on how much value a person places on that different motivations. So the more effort they put in to succeed, then the more certain they are of getting that satisfying reward. But how exactly does this theory work? Let's say, for example, the guy in the ad Nescafe. He placed a lot of effort in working harder. His goal is to give his family a better life. And the result of his working hard is that he finally built their own home.
This time, we will talk about the three components of the expectancy theory: the efforts or the expectancy, the instrumentality or the performance, and the valence or the outcome. The assessment that the likelihood that the effort will lead to expected performance is the expectancy, while the belief that the performance will lead to a reward, then that is the instrumental. While the valence is how much an individual wants a reward. So expectancy, which is the effort, multiply it by instrumental, which is the performance, and multiply it again by the valence, which is the outcome, equals to the expectancy theory of motivation. So we will talk more about these components one by one in the following slides. First component is expectancy. So in the expectancy, you will see here the relationship between the effort and performance. So expectancy is the belief that if you work hard and put in a lot of effort, you will achieve targets set for you by your manager or your supervisor. So in other words, you're looking to use effort to enhance your performance. Second component is the instrumentality. So in this case, we will be looking at the relationship between performance to the outcome. So instrumentality believes that when someone works to achieve targets, their performance will be rewarded for achieving those goals. So this outcome can be the basis of good performance. And so the third component in our list is the valence. So in this component, we're looking at the relationship this time between outcome and the reward. So valence is the value that the employee perceives for his hard work and good performance, resulting in an outcome. And the outcome will lead to the reward. If the employee believes that the outcome might result in compensation deemed worthy for his or her effort, this might result in the employee being motivated enough to perform well. Hence, the final piece of the expectancy variable is reward. So, to understand more what expectancy theory is, I have provided here a short Powton video where we can use it as an example in analyzing what expectancy theory is. So now that we have finished viewing the video, let's have a short activity of internalizing each of the component of the expectancy theory that we found in the model. So we will internalize three. The first one is the effort or the expectancy. The second one is the performance or the instrumentality. And the third one is the outcome or the valence. And we will see how these three lead to the motivation of teacher Jane.
Teacher Jane's target will be guiding the students in making a good science investigatory project, good enough to be selected for the regional competition. So at this time, Teacher Jane would likely ask herself whether her effort will lead to a high performance of her students. And this is the first component, the expectancy. After reconciling the first question, she will then ask herself whether the acceptable outcome lead to some sort of reward. So Teacher Jane recalls that her supervisor said that she will be promoted as the division head of the science department if she is successful. Now this is instrumentality. The question is being promoted to division head of the science department worth all the trouble, effort, and time? If Teacher Jane has reconciled all the three components as positive, then she is motivated to accept and perform the job well.
So if you remember, we have discussed last week, I think, on Peter Principle by Lawrence J. Peter. And this principle posits how promotions based on present performance will greatly affect the performance in the future. So, in the condition that the skills and the abilities are overlooked. For example, an employee excels in a specific task and gets promoted for his good performance. So, he was promoted to a higher level position. But he doesn't know the responsibilities, skills, and abilities the new position requires. Thus, it's either the newly employed or the newly promoted employee reaches his bottleneck or regresses in terms of his capabilities, which in this regard will result to employee burnout. So if you will ask why are we talking about Peter principle when we're talking about expectancy theory? So there is a potential connection between the two concepts. So if individuals are promoted based on their performance in their current role rather than abilities to perform in a new role, they may experience a decrease in motivation and job satisfaction if they are not adequately prepared for the new role. So let us relate our example, teacher Jane, with Peter's principle to get a clearer understanding on the concepts. So, as you can see in the picture of Peter's principle, teacher Jane was admired by her colleagues due to the performance of her students during the SIP. So, that is the first step, the first success she had. And that will be, yes, as I said, that will be regarded as the first step of success, as you can see in the picture. Due to this, the supervisor gave her another task wherein if she became successful, she will be promoted. And if ever she indeed successfully done her job well, there's a great chance that she will be given the promise of promotion by her supervisor. However, the question is she ready for her new role as the division head of the science department? This can result in a decrease in their expectancy, as well as their belief that their efforts will lead to desired outcomes, as they may feel unprepared or unqualified for the new role. Thus, there will be a great chance of failure, or in case we don't know this might happen, an employee or teacher burnout. The next topic would be about the advantages and disadvantages of expectancy theory. However, the first that we're going to discuss is the advantages of expectancy theory. The advantages of expectancy theory includes the following. Number one is achieve maximum satisfaction. It is based on the self-interest of an individual who wants to achieve maximum satisfaction and who wants to minimize dissatisfaction. So this means that there is a connection between motivation and satisfaction, which is a good thing. The second one is that this theory is about expectations and perceptions. Since the theory stresses upon expectations and perceptions, what is real and actual is immaterial. So it promotes the idea that more effort should lead to increased performance, meaning the desired outcomes are met. Third one is, of course, rewards or payoffs. It emphasizes rewards or payoffs, meaning the expectation of a reward increases motivation even if the outcome differs slightly from the original reward. The fourth one is that maximum pleasure. It focuses on psychological extravagance, where the final objective of an individual is to attain maximum pleasure and, of course, least pain or dissatisfaction. Now that we have discussed about the advantages of expectancy theory, now let us discuss about the disadvantages of the theory. The disadvantages of expectancy theory include the following. Number one is motivation is dependent on rewards. Of course, the theory stresses that motivation is dependent upon an individual's expectancies and values. So the theory itself assumes that effort and performance will result in the desired reward. Second is that this theory is a perception based model. It is either the task is unachievable, then the reward is not delivered, or the outcome isn't valuable that is enough for employees to lose motivation. Third one is it's an inconsiderate model, as it does not consider that the individual's emotional state, personality, abilities, knowledge, skills, and past experiences are factors that affect the outcome of the model. And the fourth one, we have discussed this before. This theory can lead to Peter's principle. Why? Because the theory does not account for factors like an employee's learning and workload capacity.
All I can say is that expectancy theory is a good theory of motivation, but not the best. It is an ideal model to use for motivation, but then again, it would also unlikely produce an ideal consequence, as we also have to consider the Peter's principle as one of its outcome. So for me, an employee's motivation being dependent on the rewards makes everything, including effort and performance, superficial, as it is not intrinsic anymore. So what I could think of to better the theory is to connect the reward to the personal goals of the employees to make it more authentic and realistic and not just ideal.